Give it all to me, Vanda, in one sentence, right?
A paragraph.
In a paragraph, right?
Yes.
So the best way so you want to hear my story. My story is so many connective stories that bring me back and bring me truly to this moment. Because the truth is that as I come in, you ask me, when did I become an entrepreneur? I think I was born an entrepreneur because that's all I know of, right? I never had anything inside of me to go work for somebody else. And that's probably because of my mother's influence, my being an immigrant and having, a vibrational mindset of what is possible or what needs to be done. And knowing who's influencing you. My mother is my greatest influence and hero. She prepared and paved the pathway to making sure that I was in control and in charge and knew who I was so that I could be the entrepreneur that I really am today. And in saying that, we've got to start with, you've got to understand entrepreneur means that you've got to know who you are. And that took me a lifetime. I'm 54 today, and you're asking me what was my biggest challenge and my struggle. And I have to tell you that it's still honoring who I am and not dimming the lights and being in that space of acknowledging the evolving space of all the culmination of the desires that I've had. So I have a vast background. I have a very, very rich background. I'm born into the beauty world. My mom was a top, gold spa salon owner. She was Paris's acknowledgement. Her facial still today have influenced me that I'm like, oh my God, I still need to have that experience to do that. So I was born into that world as a business. But what I'm really, if you ask me what influences me, my family, my environment, and who we are, our traditions and cultures and all of that. My grandparents were the original restaurateurs that brought the Portuguese food and culture to Johannesburg. So that, I never studied that, I never learned that. I never went into a classroom for that. But I cook, I eat well, very well. It's all in, but it's in that ether, it's in your blood. So you ask, what influences us? Who are you? It's so many steps that influences. So it matters who you are. It matters what you think. It matters what you believe in. It matters all those things. So I want to take you through the space that, of course, I'm born into these things. But as I'm born into them, I also go through my own resistance. Being with a very dominant mother and a very power-driven woman that was in business for herself, very, very independent, okay, and programmed me to be trusting myself, being independent, do it yourself, keep everything to yourself. That's the culture. It's ingrained in you, right? So at that stage, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I can't work for you. I have to work for myself, because it was the struggle of who am I going to be, and it was brilliant because in that space of this beauty and understanding what life is, I went in and I carved the space to become a top international couturier, where beauty was the essence that's there, but it was that fashion space that allowed my talents to open up. But it's in that space, Yamit, that Vanda learns the true essence of being a woman. And the true essence of what a woman is that she truly is, a divine gift. And that's what I believe. We are, as women, divine gifts. We are spiritual essences. We don't need clothes to make us pretty and beautiful. It's our essence, it's our glow that makes us beautiful. And that's how I came to be so young. I was 24 when I got awarded top Portuguese designer. And then I went into the pageantry work. And my biggest marker and work there was to remind these beauty queens and to remind these contestants and to remind women and young girls, okay, that it doesn't make a difference what dress I designed for them. What made the difference is how they felt wearing that dress. That's the biggest difference, you know. And so it's so important. That information that I did like nearly 3 decades ago, can you believe it, right? So nearly 2 decades ago becomes the core essence of all of my work today, because there's no outfit, there's no garment, there's no accessory, there's nothing that you can put on that can make you look beautiful. If you don't feel beautiful, if you don't believe you are beautiful, and if you don't feel worthy of this divine essence of who you are. So my whole background just supports this incredible evolution to what you and I started this conversation today, which is to be a woman. You know, a book that I wrote probably about 9-10 years ago that went to the United Nations. And it's still today one of the top programs that collaborates with all conversations, all organizations, all networks, all leading strategic pieces that connect to what is sustainable. The only thing that is sustainable for us as women is, one, we have to respect one another, right? And this is what I talk about. And the other thing is to understand that there is no woman that is the same as another. So the time of us comparing ourselves, and that's where my beauty pageant, my fashion world, you know, all those things come into play. Because it was like, I had this pageantry and I went to the Miss World and I designed, I was very fortunate to participate in that. But there were all these contestants and they were all competing. There was only going to be one queen. And so that brings me to the essence of everything that I've learned and I wanted to share, and I shared. That's why I landed up with 52 titled girls. I landed up having a modeling agency by pure osmosis. But it wasn't. It was what God created, the space of circle of all these top women. I let them know, you cannot compete with another woman. You are your own ray of light. You are already your queen. You are already the one. How you wear this crown, how you glow in the day, and how you glow at night in the dark is the most important thing. So this conversation is actually the conversation that I'm bringing to the table on the 8th of March, which is the upcoming International Businesswoman Month, where you are invited to participate so that we are able to share, because empowerment comes from sharing from a place of love.
Of course.
Empowering women needs to come from our hearts, not our minds. Not that we are better, not that we are equal, not that all of these things that get us so confused, because at the end of the day, women right now are called, they are called to come together, and they're called to the inner core of light. So when you ask me about my story, you know, my story is to share that, yes, I have the most incredible lineup of industries that I've mastered in. And, you know, the beauty world opened up a door to, you know, being one of the most noted, you know, strategists and stylists that took me into the world of fashion designing, right? I landed up on the stage with, you know, the Miss Worlds and one Miss Universe. And it opened up so many things for me, because the basic things that our mothers teach us are the true wisdoms that give us the stepping stones for us to be successful. You know, and you ask me, so what is your story? My story is a story of love. It's a love story. It's how can we get ourselves to love ourselves to the point that we allowing ourselves to glow and allow this worthiness and this divine essence that I call courage to continue inspiring other women. But it's a fine line, it's a fine line, because what brings me to do the work that I do today, which is, honoring who I am as a guide, as a spiritual activist, as an alchemist. I'm a born medium and channel. And that's something that I stepped away all my life from, and it's because I was, and I still am. It's not what I was. I still am very vulnerable. You're asking what's my challenge? I'm vulnerable and sensitive and empathic to people's energy. I can feel it. And so when somebody is not feeling secure, not feeling that courageous that day, or not feeling that positive, or not feeling, connected or tuned into their divine presence, I have to gently pay attention to that. Because me being connected, me being who I am, sometimes distorts and creates further distortions where people feel more insecure, more unworthy, more on that, and that is not the game we're playing. So this, what you're doing, Amit, is beautiful and very, very important, because what you're doing is you're building now bridges for us to share what I call these rays of light. They're so important. How you connect yourself is how you're going to connect to another woman. Empowerment comes from within. Empowerment comes from you knowing your true power.
Yeah.
And it's a journey. It's not, and that journey has different chapters, and each chapter is so relevant and important to your awakening. Not awakening to what this movement is calling to you to be woke to, what the past has brought forward, but awakening to what is possible and timely. Time is a ray of light. It's an essence. We as women are called to be our feminine divine goddesses, what I absolutely honor and acknowledge. But it's a timely thing. It's something that we have to focus as women, as mothers, all right, as friends, and as keepers of this incredible, incredible world that we live in. And it all does, and I've just said that in a little quick circle, but I could spend days with you, Amit, and you would be like, oh my God, we have to share this. I know we have to share it, but it's not about sharing. It's about connecting to the right people. So you asked me, the last decade, what has challenged me the most is understanding that we as women are brought into the space to bring true divine inspiration. We as women are the ones that give birth. And this is a big, big, big talk right now, and one that I've been asked to create a live panel and speak about our responsibilities. So I know you wanted to know what's my background. I'm a born entrepreneur from immigrant parents. I have mastered the ability to be in business and take my business to a space where I've been an awarded businesswoman, and yet those things didn't fulfill me. What fulfills me today is the step-by-step, day-to-day interaction of what's going to keep these lights of our soul flickering on. And that's a big quest for me, so that I don't dim my lights and I inspire others to keep their lights on. Because we as women give, and we many times distort our own realities and give from a place of false expectations. So the mothers and the parents we choose are so vitally important, but your soul chose you. And so it's important to know that. My greatest work is still about to unfold. All the work that I've done and all the different parts from, you know, my grandparents' legacy of food and culture and cuisine, it's in my blood, you know. So me honoring that is something that brings light to the space of the cafe. That's where I met you. And that's why you love it, because there's such a beautiful energy there, right? And then me moving into, I didn't move into beauty. I was born into a realm of beauty. My mom was already in the industry and doing well and independent and successful. And she basically demanded it out of me. So I had to perform. You know, that's what daughters do. They perform. And you either are defying your mother or you are dancing and being compatible with your mother. All right. And by the way, we choose our mothers, so we have to pay attention to that dance. And then going into, you know, the fashion world brings so many doors of creative expression and successes and ultimate doorways that open up, that takes me into the cosmetic and skincare field, into, you know, your sense, your sensories, inner beauty, and how it makes a difference, and the space between what you look like and what you feel, and what can really, really help, you know, what I call our largest organ and breathing organ, which is our skin. So that's where Vanda skin comes from, and the stepping stone into balancing true spirituality with science. And we're just beginning, because we are the first to bring a concept of a business concept between balancing the holistic aspect of the food you eat and what you do in a lifestyle that absolutely works for you. So I think it's just best to go to the website and go look at all. It makes a little bit sense, because I've had such a rich, diverse lifestyle, life. But I have to tell you, I woke up yesterday and I thought I was only just getting started. And that's my true essence of what that is. Does that answer you?
Oh, yeah. That is amazing. Like, the whole time you're speaking, I have goosebumps all over my body. Every word is just so powerful. Your story is so powerful. And I really think this entire thing you're talking about, it's like this triangle of, you were talking about what you feed your body, right? What you feed your body, what you feed your mind, and what you feed your soul. Those three things, it's what is creating the light in us. It's what making everything more powerful. And yes, our look is one thing, but how we feel inside and how is our soul is radiant. The light is everything. And confidence, and not comparing ourselves, because women, we are the biggest critic of ourselves. We always criticize ourselves. And I think this is one of the things that women have to stop and embrace the things they have and not compare. Like you said, every woman is a queen. Every woman has its own unique gifts. And I used to criticize myself nonstop. So I'm now in a place where I'm aware of my gift and my weaknesses, and I want to improve it. And I see so many women are getting beat down by either society and themselves, mainly. Oh, I can't do this. It's impossible. My outbringing, like they blaming the past on what's going on right now. And I'm really in a place when I really want to help women feel empowered, because I think every woman, just like you said, every woman is a queen, and every woman can do great things. We came here to do great things. It's if we find the light and we shine it and we empower ourselves and other women, or we just stay dim for the rest of our life.
Right. So I want to, and I love everything that you're saying, because it's what, so I'm going to invite, let me say it this way. I am inviting you to be a woman. I'm inviting you to be that voice and connector to that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because that triangle that you're speaking about, that's the soul connection between the mind, the body, and the true spirit, and the thread of that, right? So us giving us the selves, women being critical of themselves is no longer okay.
It's not.
It's no longer allowed. That is the work of the diverse contrast that exists in the universe. Critical, being snarky, being ugly, being nasty, being negative, being jealous. Those things are no longer okay, because they compound and ripple into more of the same. There's no critical aspect that can bring total goodness to your well-being.
Of course.
Now, I'm not saying that you can't observe yourself and say, okay, you did great, but you're going to do better.
Mm-hmm.
But criticizing yourself and beating yourself down and then feeling guilty, it's not. It's going to open up to things that only distort the mind and close the heart. And that's the workings of the contrast. That's the workings of negative charged and overcharged. For your life to work, you need a little bit of contrast and a little bit of positive and a little contrast. It's a true balance of life in itself.
Yeah.
This balance. And this is so perfect that I'm speaking to you today, Yamit, because I don't know if you know this, but I have something that I call Moon in You. And this is for women and men to understand the power of the influence of the moon. And today is that new moon that's in Pisces.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? So today is that absolutely starts a super fresh start. Why? Because of all of the moons that have come behind it, that raise the awareness to the rhythm and the cycles of what influences us. And as women, we are pulled by the cycles of the moon with our menstruation cycle. It's how we give birth. This is it. So Moon in You is all about how you uncover and understand. You see, I'm getting goosies. Now I'm the one that's feeling all the tingles all over me, right? Because today is the day that it's the new moon in Pisces. So what does that mean? So Pisces is the supercharged creative awakener. Pisces is, and I'm going to send it to you and you're going to read it and you're going to go, wow, what a great day for us to have this conversation and this podcast. What a great day to initiate true empowerment and the bridges of bringing light to the world, because Pisces is super intuitive. But it's not only Pisces. It's Pisces and this new moon that opens up these fresh doors, and every planet right now is lined up.
Wow.
Nothing holding us back. So let's talk about women empowerment now. So if nothing is holding us back, okay, what is holding you back? And that's the things that we want to turn inwards and look at our own oracle, which I call our own rays of light. Okay? And that's what connected you and me, which was the essence of connection at the Rays of Light and all the things at the cafe. You got connected to the vibration because you carry it.
That's amazing.
I know, right?
It's amazing.
I know. How beautiful is that? So, who am I becoming? More of myself. Who do I need to be? I need to be discerning who I'm being through these cycles, through these new moons, through these full moons, through my interactions, through my relationships. Because the contrast is there to support the true dance of life. Not for us to be victims, for us to be victors and creators of our lives. It's big.